Hey, welcome to AgriTalk, show about the ground and plants and animals and things we can eat and
Everything ag, pretty much.
yeah.
Farming.
We don't narrow it down too far.
Yep, we make it very broad. So anything from ground, soil, dirt. You can't say dirt because we've got a specialist on the show today that dirt is a bad thing, but soil's good. So maybe we can help determine what is dirt and what's soil.
Can you have dirty soil?
Well, you might. Maybe we'll have to ask that, I guess. So yeah, I've learned that when you say sometimes it's dirt, you don't know what that is, but soil we know what is. So
Okay, so if I say that I'm old as dirt, then that doesn't mean that I'm that old.
that's true. Yeah, you have dirt on your floor, but you don't have soil on your
Yeah,
floor.
now that dirt just got there like last week, so
Yeah.
hey, I'm not that old.
That's right. There you go. Awesome.
So who do we have with us today?
Well, today we have Dr. Rafiq Islam. He's from the Ohio State University South Centers. He is a soil and water specialist. Actually, soil, water, and bioenergy now, I believe is our official title over there.
Okay.
And Rafiq, welcome to the show. And could you tell us just a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Piketon, or when you got there, and just a little bit about your program? And then we'll go into some more detail and find out what the difference between dirt and soil and all this other stuff is.
Thank you. My name is Rafiq Islam. Originally, I'm from Bangladesh. I came to study soil science at University of Maryland for my PhD program. And after completion of my PhD program, I joined over there to do research, teaching, and some extension. And in 2002, I came to Piketon as a program leader of soil and water. So our program emphasized mostly on soil health, that what is the condition of the soil, is it a good quality soil or good soil to grow crops, and then also conservation tillage, how to manage soil in a conservative way, and different crop rotation, and also water quality. So we need a lot of water quality research because agricultural management practices may affect water quality, and that may also affect public health. So we have to do some kind of sustainable research or agricultural management practices so we can manage our soil, not like a dirt, but as a management natural resource to grow crops, to support us, and to support our ecosystem services for the greater benefit of the society.
So when you're talking about soil, how deep does that go? Are you talking about 4 inches, 10 inches, 4 feet? What's soil?
Soil, it can go deep. It depends on the type of the soil and age of the soil. We have some soil called alti-soils. Those are very, very old soil. Alti means ultimate soil or old soil. Some we call anti-soil. That means anti means recent. Those are recently formed soil.
So where would you find the old soil?
We have some in the south, some red soil, and even in Ohio we have some soil, degraded soil. Those are alti-soils, means those soil formed initially and used again and again.
Now, is that still at the top of the soil? So it's like, I'm just going to say grass, and then a lot of what I refer to as topsoil is like maybe that first inch or two. Is that also the old soil, as you call it, or do you find that deeper down?
Old soil is, alti-soil means whole soil is old.
The whole thing.
Right, because those soil formed early, and we started to use those soil to grow crops hundreds of years. And since they formed early, so it becoming aged over time and lost its productivity and some of the properties.
So it's not as good like wine.
It's not good like wine. So that's why we said in United States we have molly soils, which is one of the finest soil. And United States has 21% of those molly soils. Russia has 20%, Ukraine has 17%, and China has little bit, Brazil has little bit, but most of the soil we have in the north central region of the United States. That's why this is the food basket of United States. I would say worldwide we provide a lot of foods to other countries.
Yeah.
So actual soil will say for in agricultural term it should be 0 to 3 or maximum we can go 0 to 8 inches deep because farmers plow 8 inches deep. But actual active soil which supports our plant growth and all these within 0 to 3 is a very, very active.
So a good soil, would that be something that is more alive or more dead, or is it just chemical makeup, or is there live organisms in good soil?
That's an excellent question because earlier, 50 years back, we had the notion that if it is chemically fertile, lot of nitrogen, phosphorus and nutrient, it's a good soil. But nowadays the concept has changed. It's health means some biology. So if we have a lot of microorganisms or some other organism in a diverse way, that is the most active soil.
So you're talking
Biochemically diverse.
everything from bacteria to worms.
Right, exactly. Bacteria, fungi, algae, worms, nematode, complex system. That is, the more diversity we have, more bioefficiency in the soil we are going to get.
Interesting.
So what about his dirt question?
Yeah.
That's what we have been treating soil as a dirt because we took it as a granted. But we cannot do that anymore. In 1937, President Roosevelt said, a nation destroys itself when their soil destroy.
Right. That's after the Dust Bowl days.
Exactly, Dust Bowl days, and that's why President Roosevelt signed an executive order to create Soil and Water Conservation Society. And that makes us United States more aware and more responsible for management of our soil, water and air quality management aspect. So in that case, we are much ahead of other countries in terms of management practices.
So what would be the worst thing? What do you have to fight the most? What is most damaging to soil?
There are natural system plus there are man-made system. If we use soil for our agricultural purposes, we cannot say we are going to use soil. So use means maybe misuse or abuse.
Right.
We have to say management of soil. That means we are going to manage soil such a way that it can remain as a sustainable natural resource and produce enough food, purifies water, and support our system.
Now, as you do that, in order to maintain the health of that soil, obviously, as we grow plants and stuff, that's taking nutrients and stuff out of the soil. How does that get replenished? Is it by us putting fertilizer and chemicals back in it, or can it regenerate itself? And if that's the case, do we have to leave it alone for a while, or how does that go?
When we grow plants, the agricultural crops, they will take substantial amounts of nutrients. And we have to replace that nutrients by adding fertilizer or soil amendments or organic matter. If we don't add, the soil over time will lose its capacity to regenerate. So we have to feed them. And in return, they will provide us the services. So we have to manage the soil such a way that disturb the soil in a minimum way. That means conservation tillage. Don't plow every year or twice a year or 3 times a year. Just minimum tillage and add different crop rotation and cover crops. That will make the soil more diverse and more regenerative and nutrient enriched, because some of the cover crops and the main crops will provide organic matter.
Okay, so what is a cover crop and what does it do?
Cover crops are secondary crops, or you can say main crop also. We use the cover crop to grow in between main crops. So we can cover the ground, control soil erosion, provide organic matter and nutrients like hairy veg or peas. If we grow them during winter time after harvesting corn or soybean, it can grow and survive, and next year it can produce substantial amounts of nutrients to the succeeding crop.
So is that a crop that you would harvest or you just till it under?
We don't harvest. Normally we let them grow, and most of the cases we don't till them down. We allow them to be winter killed so they can be first killed and stay there on the ground as a surface mulch to control weed,
Okay.
and also provide a nice mulch, and over time the organic matter will accumulate.
Okay.
Not bad. Pretty good idea for that.
Yeah. So it's bad to just leave the field uncovered.
Right.
That way,
Bare.
if we have that, then we are going to have soil erosion.
So the water hitting it is
Right.
bad. Is the sun bad?
Sun is not that bad, but the water, the rainfall hitting the ground and disperses the soil. And when you have water, water doesn't stay, water moves.
Right.
So it will move the soil and also nutrients.
Especially when we get a lot.
Right, and in Ohio, the phosphorus problem we have, the pollution, water quality problem by phosphorus, is because of this soil, uncovered soil. So we said soil is meant to be covered
Okay.
to control erosion and phosphorus pollution.
Gotcha. So in managing it, how do you manage it as far as, do you just guess and throw fertilizer on it? How do you determine how much you should put on? Now I know today, they've got down to micro, you just put a little bit maybe in this spot and nothing here and over there, but how can a normal farmer start this? If you're not a big farmer, or maybe you're working on a garden or something, how do you go about testing your soil and getting it to be able to manage your soil?
So what you are talking is a precision agriculture or precision fertilization. So normally what farmers will do, the small farmers or large farmer, they will collect soil from the field and send it to the lab, and the lab will analyze, or sometimes they will send their technician to come and analyze the soil and make a recommendation for fertilization based on GIS, satellite-based information, what part of the ground they need more and what other part they need less, so that they can do that. But for a small farmer, it may not be economically feasible for them to go for analysis every year. So that's why we have developed some tools to test the soil, and which will tell you whether your soil is good health or poor health or medium health, and how soil is working. At least a farmer can find out how it works.
Do you think a lot of farmers test, or do you think they just might throw some fertilizer, some lime, or whatever on it?
A lot of cases, farmers, they will apply some fertilizer or lime or gypsum without any consultation.
Right.
We found that, and in some cases, farmers were pushed to apply more. In Ohio, we may not need so much lime because Ohio soil is highly calcareous, a lot of calcium, so we may not need that. So it has to be tested before we apply.
I think, what is the, I put stuff on my yard that's opposite of that. Is it iron? Is that what it is?
To take out some calcium, is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it's the opposite of putting lime on as far as pH.
Oh, you want to have the soil pH down.
Yeah.
You want to add sulfur.
Sulfur.
Okay. It seemed like there was iron stuff I added
Iron
to it.
sulfate, you can add iron sulfate, and over time this iron sulfate will be chemically reacted with water and produce sulfuric acid, and decrease the pH.
Because there's a lot of clay in my area. I don't know if that's the problem.
So in that case, we use a lot of gypsum and a lot of cover crop to add organic matter, and organic matter is very loose and floppy. It will make the soil more porous, so water can infiltrate easily.
Right. I don't rake my yard anymore. I'm not a farmer, so
Yeah.
I just manage my grass.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's management though.
Right.
So that's good. But now I want to add to that. Now, can the small farmers can they go to the extension office now and have them take
For the
maybe you
testing?
take soil samples to them and they send it off, or how do they do that now?
I mean, it's a different ways they can do that.
Yeah.
They can collect the soil, or they can talk to the extension educator, and the extension educator can come to the farm and help the farmers to collect the soil and send it to the lab. And also, farmers will collect soil by themselves, and then they can send it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes some testing lab, soil testing lab, they will send their people to collect soil and then analyze and make a map for all this fertility of their soil, and then recommend fertilization.
Okay. So you also, on some of the notes and things, you have what's called an organic matter calculator.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that, how that is involved in management of your soil and things.
I mean, originally I'm you can say, city boy. So I came to America and learned a lot of things from farmers. So farmers are the real mentor of their field. They know what to do, how to do, and when to do. So they taught us, and I learned from them over the years about organic matter and organic matter management and what organic matter does to the soil. So realizing all these opportunities, we started to think and developed some simple test or calculator for farmers, that farmers can manage their soil for organic matter content or organic matter, and they can test by themselves and calculate for 50 years that what will happen if I change from one system to another system, or if I follow cover crops, or if I use no-till, or if I use corn soybean rotation. So it has all these options, very simple Excel-based option. Farmers can enter the initial year, and then how many years they want, and what is the initial organic matter calculator, and what is their soil, what kind of soil they have, how many times they plow, is it no-till or conventional till, what kind of crop rotation they have, how much yield they can get. If they enter all these things, and the program will automatically calculate for them that how organic matter will decrease or increase over time. And it will give them the option. If it is decreasing, then they will get the option how to improve the organic matter by using sustainable management practices.
Right. Now, I had a question. I don't know if it's a yard question, maybe. Is there a difference? You're talking about organic matter. I use a mulching mower, so I think the grass, going back into the grass, is good. How about leaves? Can I just mulch the leaves over the yard, or does that change the pH or whatever chemical makeup of it? And ash, how about ash that's coming out of my fireplace? Is that good to put on my yard?
So I'll give this answer in two different ways. If you have the leaves or the leaf litter, you can keep on the ground, provided you add some nitrogen fertilizer, because those leaves are low in nitrogen and high in carbon. So in nature, we have carbon-nitrogen ratio.
Okay.
So we have maintained that ratio, otherwise the system will not work, or the leaf will not decompose to release nutrients.
Okay.
Or form organic matter. So bacteria needs nitrogen as an energy source and also carbon to decompose that residue.
Okay, so it's December. Should you put the nitrogen in now or in the
No,
spring?
In the spring would be good,
Okay.
but make sure it should be after melting of the snow. The snow we are going to get. Otherwise, it will wash away the
Oh,
nitrogen
right.
we are going to apply. And if you apply ash in your garden, it's good because it has a lot of calcium, magnesium, and potassium.
Okay.
All those nutrients in the ash. So you can apply.
Is that good on the grass, or is
On the
there?
grass.
Can you get too much of it, or?
It's good on the grass because calcium will help the grass to grow more roots and nice good roots, and magnesium will help as a chlorophyll. So it's a part of chlorophyll. It will help the plant to make more green and absorb
Yeah.
sunlight. And potassium is also good because it will hold the water within the plant and also in the soil.
Okay.
So potassium role is to maintain hydration capacity of the plant leaf. So water regulator.
Okay. So also in our area, there's a lot of clay.
Yeah.
Should you aerate a lot? I know the farmers till, and so that's where they get the aeration. But in a yard, should you like poke holes in it and aerate the soil?
You can do that, or I can give you another idea that would be you can plant few radishes. The radish we grow, if you grow few radishes, it will be big and it will go deep down and reduce your compaction, crack the soil, open up the soil, and when they decompose, there will be a hole, so water can move down easily.
Okay. So I shouldn't eat the radishes, I don't guess.
And radish is also good because when they decompose, they release natural pesticides, so it makes fumigation of the soil. Natural fumigation, kill nematodes
Good idea.
and
Yeah, I like
disease.
that.
So we call radishes as biological plow.
Cool.
But for agricultural soil, we don't want too much radishes. We recommend farmer you just apply 2 pounds per acre. Because if you apply too much, it will create so many holes, and all the phosphorus and other nutrients will go in the drainage and end up in the river and stream.
Right.
So we want 2 pounds of radishes enough to
Okay.
reduce soil compaction.
That's an interesting idea.
It's a little different. You don't think about that every day.
Yeah.
Alternative ways other than poking holes in grass
Yeah.
or tilling, because sometimes, tilling is bad to a degree. So when people go no-till, they have to have another way to break that soil up, right? So the radishes will help take care of that.
So
So-
that's why we
And now they count radishes as a cover crop too, right?
exactly.
So
That's why we tell farmers that try to use cover crop in such a rotation like corn, soybean, wheat. So when you harvest wheat in July, immediately you can plant radish, cowpea or winter pea as a cover crop. And during that time we have 13-14 hours day length. It will help them to maximize their growth, and it will cover the ground, and during winter time they will be killed. And next spring you can grow corn. The nitrogen will be coming from peas, and radishes will be make nice good infiltration.
Yeah.
For
Would
the soil.
turnips be the same or not?
Turnips are good, but they are very shallow, 3 to 4 inches.
Okay.
But radishes, if you have few radishes, it can go up to 40 inches or more than that. Yeah, one of the farmer, Dave Brand in Ohio, Fairfield County, Carroll. So he's using radishes for long time, and as a result, he reduces his fertilization, chemicals use. He cut down almost 50 to 60%, recycling nutrients.
Yeah. That's a great idea. It's always
that's
it's
an awesome
always nice
idea.
to use less chemicals, I think, and go more natural.
yeah, absolutely. Now, can you mix those together when you plant? So can you do some radishes and cowpeas and like mix it all together and plant it? Or should you only do one each time?
That's another excellent question, because we as farmers use mixed cover crop. So such a way that some cover crop will grow during the long hours, maximize the growth,
Yeah.
and some of them will be slow growing and survive during the winter and still green in the early spring. So the once you planted all these months, the field is brown, it will be covered green. So that's the way we mix up, and mix up means more diverse kind of organic matter will go, and it will support different type of organism, and also butterflies, honeybees, and all these. So it has multiple
It attracts different things.
application, right?
Awesome.
So we use different types of plant, tall, like Sudan sorghum grass or pearl millet, a tall cover crops, 4-5 feet tall, and then in fact 6-7 feet tall, and some of them are medium height, 3 to 4 feet tall, and some of them are short. So such a way we capture maximum light. So taller plants should be less, medium should be less, but the lower level should be maximum. So we can get the light penetration enough so it can maximize the growth of all the cover crop.
Okay. Probably one last question. We got a couple minutes left. Okay. Is there, instead of sending out your soil to a lab, you said that earlier there was a kit that you can get to do it yourself?
Yeah,
And that's the kit you have?
right. So the kit we developed at Piketon, it's a very simple kit to measure soil health. And also it measures how much nitrogen in the soil, how much organic matter in the soil. So it's a simple test. A farmer can, or anybody can do it by themselves, and it will take maximum 10 to 15 minutes. A person can go to the field and take a scoop of soil and add 2 drops of solution and water and shake for 2 minutes. The solution color would be pink, but when you shake, after shaking, it would be light pink or colorless. So more pink color means poor or bad quality soil. Light pink or colorless is a good quality soil.
Okay.
And there is a color chart. You can match the color.
And it tells you more or less what to put in it, maybe?
Right, and it will tell you how much nitrogen you have, how much organic matter you have, how much phosphorus you need to apply, or whether you need irrigation to apply. It will tell you a lot of different things for your soil management.
So it may say you already have enough nitrogen, don't put any more on there, even though you may throw some on there every year or something.
Right.
So
Right, it gives
Yeah.
you how much available nitrogen in soil, so that way you don't need to apply whole amount of nitrogen. It gives you decision making
Right.
good choice.
power.
So we might have to have you back on because there was some biofuel stuff I think
There
we
is a
wanted to talk
lot of
to.
things that grass and things that he's got some good stuff over there
Yeah.
that we'd like to talk about.
So we need to have him back on.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
Stay tuned. In another half hour, Tech Talk will be on and talking about what to do with your tech gifts that you get this December. So watch for that, and we'll see you next month on AgriTalk.